at you with another live stream class. Today is a high intensity interval style class, or a HIIT class if you're familiar with that. So we're going to be working at a little bit higher intensity, but for short bursts, little rests, things like that. It allows us to work a little bit harder because the work periods are going to be on the shorter side, but should challenge us with those short rests as well. I am joining you with another fitness instructor. Kristen is joining us behind the scenes today, so if you have any questions or concerns about anything we're doing today, definitely just give her a shout in the comments there, and she'll be happy to help you out with that. We're really excited to have you here with us again for another class. So, like I said, my name's Andy or Adrienne. Either one works. I really don't mind either one. They're both fine. Here with this high intensity interval training class. Before we get started, of course, I'm just going to run through our quick disclaimer and then we'll get into the fun stuff. So, in response to COVID-19, PSP is offering virtual fitness classes to Canadian Armed Forces members. By using social media platforms, the virtual fitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces members become accessible to all. Participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members recognize and acknowledge that their age, health status, and physical fitness levels are unknown, and it is entirely up to each individual to assess their ability to participate in this class. Since it is preferable to consult your physician prior to beginning any exercise program, we invite all participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members to consult the Get Active questionnaire from the Canadian Society for Exercise Physiology and its reference document. Kristen's going to post both of those below in English and in French, so you can take a look at those if you need to. Definitely take a sec if you need to do that. And then at any point during this video, if you are experiencing any pain or any difficulty during these exercises presented, it is recommended that you stop and consult a healthcare provider. If Canadian Armed Forces members sustain an injury during this video, please remember to fill out a CF98. Alright, so before we get going here, what you need to know, what you need to have handy. If you're on a really hard surface like I am for these classes, have a mat, something to help cushion you a little bit if you need it. You don't necessarily need one, but I would recommend it if your floor is hard like mine here. Thing two, have some water. Make sure that is handy so that you're good to go for the class. You can hydrate as you need. And then just be sure during the class to modify any exercises that you need to, take rests when you need to, and yeah, do what you need to do to make this a really good practice or a really good class for you. Aside from that, I'm not going to be playing any music here, so if you want to toss some tunes on, go ahead and get those tunes pumping. As much as I would love to have music for you, it probably wouldn't come through that clearly, and then it just makes things a little bit easier all around. You can listen to whatever you want, so on and so forth. Aside from that, I think that is the gist of all of the need-to-knows. You saw my cat Neville wandering through here. He will probably give me some obstacles as we make our way through this class at some point. It's bound to happen, it usually does. So bear with me if that happens, and if you have pets as well, you understand what this is like if you're working out at home. It happens, there's not a lot we can do about it, and that's perfectly fine. So if you need a mat, grab a mat. If you need water, get water. Go ahead and get your tunes going, and we're going to start our warm-up in about 30 seconds here. So do what you need to do. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water, and then we will get started. Yeah, we're excited. Alright, so our warm-up is going to be nothing crazy to start here. You can start it off with just a little jog on the spot. Get that blood pumping a little bit, start to warm things up. Nothing crazy for now, nothing all out when we're doing this warm-up. We're just getting going, no rush. Alright, bring those feet a little bit wider here, just to in a wide stance, a little wider than your hips. Stand up nice and tall, and we'll start by bringing the head over towards one side, chin down to chest, opposite ear to opposite shoulder, and then back the way we came. Moving in half circles, nice and slow side to side, just the front half of the circle. Don't worry about going towards the back half looking up. And when you find your way back, bring it into a couple shoulder rolls coming up, back, and around. We're gonna make those a little bit bigger, almost like you're drawing circles with your elbows. A little bigger still, full arm circles coming up and back. Take your time. And opposite direction, just the shoulders first. Bring them up and forward. A little bigger from the elbows. This one feels kind of weird, kind of like a chicken wing type of deal. That's fine. Full arm circles coming up and forward here. Take them slow. Alternating sides here. We're just going to bring a knee up towards the chest. Give it a little bit of a squeeze and drop it back down. Go for about 3 each side. And once you're done with those, coming into kind of like a slow version of our butt kicks. Heel's going to come up towards the glutes. Just give it a quick squeeze again here. Release that back down. Squeeze and release again 3 times each side. All right, moving into our warm-up a little bit fuller now. We're going to go with a bit of a countdown. So we're going to start with 10 jumping jacks, 10 squats. Here we go. 10 jacks. As soon as you're done those, 10 squats. This will start to get us a little bit warmer as we go along. 10 and 10. Once you're done with these, bring it down to the floor. 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups. So 10, 10, 5, 5. Push-ups from your toes or from your knees. I'll leave that up to you. Sit-ups don't want to happen. Crunches are fine. 5 and 5. Ouch. Watch out for walls. They'll sneak up on you. Bring it back up to stand. We're going to go for 8 jacks, 8 squats. 8 and 8. After you're done your 8 jacks, 8 squats, we're going to move on to 4 push-ups, 4 sit-ups. Bringing it back up, 6 jumping jacks, 6 squats, 6 and 6. And push-up sit-ups, 3 and 3. If you're a fan of patterns, you can probably guess what's coming up next. 4 and 4. 4 jacks, 4 squats. Two push-ups, 2 sit-ups. And last round, 2 jacks, 2 squats, 1 push-up, 1 sit-up. Go for it. Beautiful. Take a sec to finish that up if you've got a couple reps left, and then bring it back up to stand. Coming into Frankenstein's, kicking up leg towards the hand. Doesn't have to touch. It can. We'll just go for about 3, maybe 4 on each side. Keeping that chest up nice and high. Next one, keeping that spine tall, hip openers. Knee is going to sweep from the inside, open to the outside, and down. Again, 3 or 4 times each side. Starting to wake things up. Don't whip through super fast. Nice and controlled as you're coming up and open to the side here. Once you're done with those, bring that stance a little wider into some side lunges, and 3 per side will do just fine and dandy. Making sure your knees and toes are bending in the same direction or pointing in the same direction as we get into our lunges. Chest can stay up nice and high. 3 per side, side lunges. And as per usual, often, not necessarily always, we'll hop into a world's greatest stretch last here. Step it forward into your lunge. You can drop that back knee for a sec. Same arm as your front foot. So reaching up. And then coming down towards the ground 3 times. Reach it up. Bring it down. Reach it up. Bring it down. Send the hips back for a quick hamstring stretch just for a moment. Breath or so. And then we're going to bring it forward into our lunge once more. Same arm as your back leg, reaching up and over towards the wall. Again, holding for a breath or so. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. Same thing, other leg forward. Inside arm, so same one as that front foot, is coming up. Down towards the ground 3 times. Next up, go ahead and send those hips back. Quick hamstring stretch, just a couple of breaths here. And then once again, we're going to find that lunge, bringing ourselves up nice and tall. Same arm as the back leg. Reach it up and over, find a bit of extension through the front of the right hip. Couple breaths. And then we're going to take that back up to stand. If there's anything else that you need to do to warm up a little bit more, to mobilize, maybe a couple of arm swings, couple other stretches that you love to do, feel free to get those in. Grab a sip of water if you need it. And I'm going to go through our first round, our first like mini circuit. We've got 5 little circuits coming at you today. I'll intro all of them between each. Hopefully that works out really well, and you'll still be able to hear me if I'm on the tired side or breathing a little hard. But if there's confusion, of course, Kristen is there to help us out, so definitely questions away if you have them at any point throughout this class. So, first one, nothing super crazy. It's all pretty much body weight today. I'll give you a few different intensity options and we'll go from there. We're going to be working for 20 seconds, taking 10 seconds of rest, and this first little triplet of exercises, we're going to go through 4 rounds. It's going to be great. It's going to get us warmed up. If you're not starting to get warm already, this will get you there for sure. Exercise number 1 is going to be jumping jacks. If you prefer, stepping jacks. Modify however you need. Exercise 2, reverse lunges, stepping back to your lunge, up to stand. That's it, that's all. If you really prefer and you want to amp it up, you can jump lunge. Do what you need to do there. And then exercise number 3, grasshoppers. I really like these ones. You may have done them with me before. It's like a mountain climber, but instead of just going knee to chest, we're actually kicking that leg through towards the opposite side. If those aren't feeling good, switch back to normal mountain climbers, or as an alternative, if your wrists are not a fan, bicycles are excellent as well. So 20 seconds each, 10 seconds rest, 4 rounds to get us up and going here. Ready for it? I hope so. Get the cat toys out of the way. That hopefully gives me a little bit more space and less tripping hazards. And we will get started here with jacks first. In 3, 2, 1, jacks. Here we go. Just 20 seconds here. Nice and easy this first round. Remember, you can always up that intensity for rounds 2, 3, or 4 if you're feeling it. Rest. Exercise number 2, reverse lunges. Keep that chest up high throughout. Step back to your lunge, back together. Here we go. Step it back and together. You can go body weight. Modify your pace as you need to. Alternating sides. Think about driving down through the heel of your front leg to press back up together. Rest. Next one, grasshoppers. It doesn't matter if you'd like to, like your mountain climbers, but even more exciting and fun. Here we go. Coming through and across. This round I'm gonna step it. Next round, I'll amp things up with the speed a little bit. You can choose what suits you best and go with that. After this, we'll be back up to jumping jacks. Little rest, 10 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, jacks. If you want to get fancy with these, you can try opposite hand foot. In front or behind. 2, 1, rest. Reverse lunges or jump lunges, up to you. Change that intensity as you wish. 3, 2, 1, let's go. You can go at whatever pace you need to for this 20 seconds, but as much as you can. I'll encourage you to keep pushing, keep moving, even if it's slower or you're really going for it. Either way. Rest. All right, grasshoppers, round 2. Let's speed these up a little bit. Here we go. Keep shoulders stacked over the wrists. Drive that leg across the body. Rest. Halfway through round 1. So far, so good. Jacks first. Go for it. Classic jacks, or spice them up a little bit. Lots of ways to do that. You saw one last round. 5 seconds. Rest. Reverse lunges or jumping lunges. Here we go. 5 seconds. Right to it. If you're going for jump lunges, keep your landings nice and quiet. Absorb them as much as you can. Back knee coming to a hover. Rest. Not mountain climbers, grasshoppers, pardon me. 3, 2, 1. Go for it. Work to keep those hips facing the mat, facing the ground. Whew. Getting warm. All right. Last round of these. Jacks first. Oh yeah. That's a Jack's alternative that I did not mention. Hopscotch also works. 2 feet out and 1 foot in, alternating sides. Whew. That'll take you back. Rest. Next one, reverse or jump lunges. Whew. Here we go. If this isn't enough for you yet, don't worry. There's plenty more coming. Lots to look forward to. Rest. Grasshoppers, last one. Then we take a bit of a longer break. I'll demo up our next few exercises. Let's go. Keep it up. 5 seconds. Whew. Rest. Nice work. Take a sec, grab water. Next few exercises are the following. Number 1, speed skaters. Done these a little bit. They're a step cross behind, jumping to the side, behind to tap, tap, tap. You can stay up nice and high. It's a little bit easier. If you want to add more, reach that opposite hand down towards the ground. Make sure that bend is really coming from the legs. We're not just hinging at the hips and doing a single leg deadlift. Get that knee bend in there, bring it low. Next, rope climbs. You're probably like, Andy, what the heck? None of us have ropes at home that we can just hop on and climb. No stress. This is actually a core exercise. And if I'm honest, it's basically a setup. So what these are gonna look like are from your back. Think about a rope coming straight out of your belly button or somewhere near the bottom of your sternum. That general area, feet are planted, hands can come up. I want you to climb that rope, bring that chest straight up and control down. I'm gonna do the ridiculous miming. You can do it if you want. I'll leave that up to you, but I want that chest to lead on the way up, not head first, okay? That's the biggest thing. If you're not coming all the way up, at least get shoulder blades off the ground like you're doing a crunch. If you absolutely need to support the head with the hands, keep it light. Fingers are super, super gentle on either side of the head, and no yanking on the head to bring it forward. Be nice to your neck, please. Next, squat, bringing your knee to elbow. Normal squat, opposite knee comes up. Squat, knee, so on and so forth. So we're gonna get right to it. Speed skaters, 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Step cross behind. Take these as fast or as slow as you'd like. That front leg, knee and toe, still pointing in the same direction here. 5 seconds. Rest. Rope climbs, come on down. Whew. All right, rope coming up. Go ahead and climb it. Chest comes straight up towards the ceiling and back down. If you don't want to do that rope climb with the hands, maybe hands stay in front of the face, reach straight up and down. Press it up and down. Keep that going. No throw forward with the head. And rest. Squat, opposite knee to elbow. Alternating sides. Here we go. Make sure that knee is coming up towards the elbow. Standing up nice and tall after every squat. And take the squats as low as feels okay for you. Toes and knees keep pointing in the same direction. None of this, none of this. Take a little rest. We're coming back to speed skaters. Whew. Round 2. Let's go for it. If you still want more with these skaters, add the littlest hop, side to side. A little bit more dynamic, a little faster. 5 seconds. Nice, rope climbs. I'll be honest, I have no idea how these look. I've never watched myself do them. Here we go. So if I look ridiculous, that's a risk I'm willing to take. And that other option, hands pressing straight up, lead with that chest. Keep it going. And rest. Come on up to squats. Squat, knee. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Warming up these legs. 10 seconds. Keep it going. Rest. Speed skaters. 5 seconds. We're halfway. 2 more rounds through this. Let's go. These are really feeling awful for you. Reverse lunges again. You can always come back to those. Little rest. Reverse lunges will just be a little bit less intense on the hip and knee because you're not coming across. Let's climb some ropes. Exhaling as you're sitting up. Inhale on the way back down. Feeling that final pull to the top of a rope climb. Woo. A little rest, back to our squats. 2, 1, let's go. Just as much control in our squats as in our first round. Excellent. Last round of these. Speed skaters first. If you love squats like I do, don't worry, there's more to come. Here we go. Speed skate away. Halfway, 10 seconds. Rope climbs, last round for these. Let's go. If you hate these ones and you think I'm crazy for adding them in, all good. We're almost through with them. You only have 12 seconds left. Or do normal sit-ups. Either works. 2, 1, and rest. Come on up to stand, squat to the knee. Squat, knee to elbow. You know what I mean. Right to it, let's go. Cross-body action just brings a little bit of core in. In case you forgot those grasshoppers from round 1, kind of bring it back. Rest. Fantastic. Grab that sip of water, take a brief moment. Bonus good news for this next one, only 3 rounds. That's right, only 3, not 4. It's gonna be a piece of cake comparatively. Unless you really don't like planks, then I don't have good news for you, aside from the fact that I'll do it with you. We're gonna get through this together, it's gonna be fine. 20 seconds each. Starting off with some side lunges. Coming back as we did in our warm-up. Wide stance, chest tall. If you feel better with it, hands can stay at the chest, or they can extend in front of you to help with the balance, however you need. I'll leave that up to you. As long as your chest is up, I'm pretty happy because it's helping to keep your spine neutral. Choose how low you go for these side lunges. Maybe keeping whatever leg you're bending into, keep that heel down. Okay, I'm gonna leave that caveat in there. Alternating sides, and leg that you're bending into, that heel stays down. Next up, plank, side plank. We're gonna do 20 seconds per side. As you're doing these, you can go from your hand, from your forearm. You can stagger your feet, stack your feet, starfish, or drop a knee down. Either both knees down as such, or do a little bit of a combo, one leg extended, one knee down, just for a little bit of extra assistance in that stabilization. We'll do one side and then 10-second rest to our second side. Again, questions, concerns, toss them in the comments and Kristen will help you out. We will start off with side lunges in about 10 seconds. Here we go, in 5, 3, 2, 1, go for it. Side lunge away as low as you want to go. So chest stays up high. Knee and toe need to be pointing the same direction. That's important. These are going to go pretty quick. 5 seconds already. Beautiful. Come on down, side plank, first side. Choose your side plank, bring it on up. When you're doing these, think about the core is strong, of course, it's working. Our shoulder is going to stack over that elbow or our hand, whatever's on the mat. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze them tight, press them forward and up just a little bit. A lot of the time, I'll explain on the second side. Come on down. Second side, side plank. Get ready for it. Starts in 3, 2, 1, up we go. A lot of the time, as I was saying, hips tend to sag back here. That makes it so much harder than it needs to be. Zip up, glutes tight, press those hips forward, press the hips up a little bit. You've got it. 5 seconds. Take a rest. Cool. Right back to our side lunges. Step it wide. Maybe we go a little lower this time. Go for it. Keep it up. 10 seconds. A little rest, side plank, first side, come on down. It's only 20 seconds. Here we go. So if you want to step it up, add that starfish, go for it, why not? Keep pressing those hips high. Keep breathing, please. 10 more seconds. Three, two, one. Nice. Second side, same jazz, you know what's up. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Whew. Again, take your pick, take your variation. Keep that core zip strong. Woo. If you fall out of it, come on back up when you're ready. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Last round, side lunges first. In 5. Here we go. Hello, legs. Should be waking up a little bit. If not now, next circuit for sure. Rest. If you've been thinking about amping up your side planks, this is our last time to do each side. So now is the time. Let's go for it. Come on up. Make them spicy. Make them challenging. Let's get to it. 10 seconds. Don't stop now. You've got it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Take it down. Second side. Whew. 5 seconds. And up we go. Again, you pushed it on one side. Let's go for it on this second one as well. These are short, high intensity rounds. Go for it. Why not? 10 seconds left. All you. You got it. Hold it strong. Hold it steady. It's all you, but I'm there for you. We got this together. Cool. Come on down. Grab that sip of water if you need it. Next one. Whew. We're going to heat up a little bit here. Can confirm that is absolutely going to happen. Once again, this one is 4 rounds. Nothing super insane. Sorry, 4 rounds. I misspoke. It's 3 rounds. You probably wouldn't like me so much if this was 4, and I understand. It's part of the job. Exercise 1. Jump squats. Love some jump squats. These are great. Your choice if you are sticking with jump squats, or you can always come back to bodyweight squats. If you want something in between, grab an object around you to hold at the center of the chest as a little bit of a weight for your goblet squats. If you're doing jump squats, again, landings are quiet, okay? Chest stays tall throughout. I don't want to see, I can't see anyways, but you know what I mean. I don't want to be able to see anything looking like that, okay? Chest stays up and high throughout. Find a spot on your wall, maybe a roommate or a partner or a pet that you can make faces at while you're doing this one. I'm sure they will appreciate it and be well entertained. Keep that chest up. Exercise number 2, quick feet. Can you go for that run on the spot? If you have agility drills that you love coming in and out, over to one side, back to the other side, lightning fast, whatever. As long as they're quick, and they're your feet, and they're moving, you do you. Pick a pattern. I'll go through a whole bunch of different ones. Do what feels good. Next, last one for this triplet, push up plus shoulder tap. Shoulder taps don't feel good. Elbows are lower. They're a little easier to tap. Do what you need to do. Push up from the toes or from the knees. At the top, tap, tap. Hips stay steady. None of this, okay? Keep them central. As soon as you're done those taps, into your next push-up. That's it, that's all. 3 exercises, jump squats, quick feet, push up to tap. We're gonna get at it in 10 seconds. In 5, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, jump squats. Right to it. 20 seconds goes quick. See how many we can get in. All right, feeling good. 10 seconds left. Whew. Rest. Quick feet. Got 10 seconds. Maybe just on the spot for now. Quick runs, high knees. Get to it. Let's go. How many steps can we get on our Fitbits? Keep it up. Maybe bring in some in and out, center to side steps here. Whew. Rest. Push up plus shoulder tap or elbow tap. Drop to the knees if you need. Here we go. Core so strong here. Good depth in those push-ups. Rest. Back up. Jump squats. Isn't this a fun round? I knew you'd like it. Here we go. More than halfway. Whew. Rest. Quick feet. If you did your in and outs with the dominant leg leading, switch to non-dominant. Let's go. Ten seconds. All the way, you got it. Woo. Rest. Push up. Shoulder taps. It's like a Macarena on the floor. Here we go. If you're wondering, I said Macarena, not macaroni. If you're thinking macaroni, you're looking at your floors, maybe they need a sweep. Just a thought. Rest. Last round, jump squats. You know I'm kidding, right? About the macaroni. Here we go. Keep them going. All the way. 10 seconds. Rest. Woo. Quick steps. Quick feet. Last round of these. Let's go. Slide to side, front to back, on the spot, your choice. Halfway. Go, go, go. Rest. Push-ups. Add that shoulder tap at the top. Last round of these as well. Whew. All right, let's go. Take a rest, take a breather, grab your water, don't gulp it. We've got one more round with some good core, so small sips, get hydrated. Whew. I hope your music is louder than my breathing right now. Fingers crossed. All right, I'm sure, just positive, that you haven't had enough of leg day yet. So, we're gonna find that snazzy little squat position once more from a standing squat. Squat it on down. I want you to walk forward and back. Not your standard walks. We're gonna keep ourselves low, 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 as low as we can for this 20 seconds. As an alternative, if the walks don't feel good, hold in your squat on the spot, or if you really need, maybe using that wall for a wall sit instead. But if you can, keep it centered in that squat hold. So chest still stays up tall. You're gonna find that nice, ever so comfortable invisible chair. And in this case, that invisible chair is rolly. So we're gonna pull ourselves forward, a few steps, and back. I want you to keep that depth through the whole 20 seconds. Feel those legs get a bit of a burn on. Love that. Next up, onto your mat, leg climber. Okay, so you did those rope climbers before. These are not the same. They're a little bit harder in a different way. One leg is down, one leg is up. Meet your rope, kind of. You're gonna sit up towards that shin, foot, ankle, wherever you can reach, and come on back down. I like to call them leg climbers because if you don't automatically sit right up to your foot, easy peasy, you can climb that leg a little bit on the way up. As long as your shoulder blades leave the mat or leave the ground, I am pleased as punch. We're still getting some really good activation there. That's the purpose of this exercise. If your leg is straight up, it's a little harder. If it comes down to 45 degrees, a little bit easier. So that's a nice way to modify this one by dropping that leg away from you a bit. Next, we're gonna flip over onto our stomachs. We're gonna go for a prone Y to W. Back and forth between those two. Arms out overhead. Thumbs can be up or backs of hands up. I'll leave that up to you today. We're gonna bring them up towards the sky. Elbows down towards either side into a W. Back up overhead. W, overhead. I'm just gonna toss this in there. If any of you are swimmers and doing this one, bonus exercise for your shoulders. Instead of coming straight up to your Y, maybe we go do that streamline stack and go for a little bit of a squeeze in towards the ears. Just an idea. Do with it what you will. And we'll get going with our squat walks. About 10 seconds until go time. 4 rounds for this one. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Into your squat. Let's get going. I said come on up, like everyone was on the ground like I was. You probably weren't. Y'all are go-getters. I bet we were up and standing and ready for it, so good on ya. Keep that going, keep it low. Awesome, little rest. Leg climbers, come on down. Right leg is up. Right to it. Sit it up, bring it down. Go to wherever you can reach. Having that leg up makes it harder to come up and meet it. Keep it going, same leg. We haven't switched. A little rest, flip it over onto your stomach, come to a Y, and then a W, or a streamline, then a W. In 3. Here we go. Y, W, squeezing the shoulder blades together, overhead, Y, W, optional, stack the hands, squeeze the ears, streamline, W, streamline, W, whew, keep that up. That is a nice way to get in to some of that upper back musculature. Find your squat hold. Bring it into our walks. A little lower this time maybe. How slow can we take those steps? How soundless can we make them? Keep them quiet. Keep those hips sitting back and down. Chest high. Whew. Work with whatever space you got. How low can you go? Rest. In case you thought I missed it, here is your second side for those leg climbers. Bring it down, left leg up. Whew. 20 seconds here. Y and W. I'll bring it one further this time and run through snow angels as well as an alternative. Here we go. If you're going for snow angels, arms come up. Palms are facing down, facing down, facing down, facing down. Big old wings. Flip the palms up over the glutes. Back out to the sides. Flip the palms down. Up overhead. Really big circle. Out to the sides. Any of those that I've showed you will be excellent. We've got 2 more rounds of this, so play around with them. See what's a good challenge for you. Squat walks. Down we go. For a nice little walk. Whew. Hello, legs. You can feel them a little bit after some of those other things we were doing. If not, maybe you can come back to them later. Up that intensity a bit. Do some more jumps. Take a rest. Back to our right side, leg climbers. Right foot up. Here we go. Keep it going. Onto your stomach. We got Y's, W's, streamlines, snow angels. Do what works for you. We're aiming to activate through the upper back. Work a little bit on that active range of motion for the shoulders. Strengthening through our core a little bit while we're doing this as well. Because it wraps around our back as well. It's all part of it. Whew. Squat walks. Last round for these. Let's get to it. Come on down. Whew. Keep nice and stable in the hips. Minimize your sway. Minimize any bounce. Almost want to make it look like you're floating. If you could see my legs, I'd be hovering. Hopefully, that's the idea. Cool. Left leg. Leg climbers, let's go for it. Last one, flip it over, onto your stomach, Y's, W's, snow angels, you name it. Here we go. Keep breathing. Keep that neck long, shoulders are down away from the ears, even if arms are lifting up overhead. Cool. Take a rest. Grab a sip of water. Hopefully you felt in this last round here that this was a little bit less intense than the one before. We weren't running, we weren't jumping, slowing things down a little bit. We're going to continue just to move the feet a bit, maybe a bit of a walk on the spot over the next minute or so while we're grabbing that sip of water, starting to slow the breath down once more. Noticing maybe how awesome walking feels when you don't have to hold a squat. Isn't that wonderful? As you're walking on the spot or around in whatever space you're working in here, start to bring that breathing a little bit fuller, a little bit slower. If you can, come in through the nose, out nice and slow through the mouth. Take a couple more like that, in through the nose, out slow through the mouth. If it feels good, go ahead and add some arms to it as you inhale, send them up overhead. Exhale, bring them back down. Again, inhale up. Exhale, send them down. We could almost like get into some sick dance moves here, but we'd be out of time, so maybe another time. We'll have to see. As we keep slowing things down again, just keep focusing on that breath. A little bit of movement for now. Next up is our mobility section. We'll just stretch out a little bit of what we worked on today. Hopefully that will be feeling a little bit better for you as the day goes on. After this class, definitely keep hydrating. Okay, lots of water. It's gonna help to feel good. And then might I recommend coming back for another class tomorrow. There's gonna be a force-focused one this Wednesday at 1400 hours with Audie. So that'll be fantastic. Keep an eye out for it. You know where to come and find it, so do that. Grab a wall if you have one handy. Stepping into a bit of a lunge stance, we'll start by stretching out our calves today. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Ensure both toes are pointed towards the wall. Find a little bit of a lunge into your front leg. If your knee is going way past that ankle, step your stance a little longer. Step that foot forward and bend it in until you feel that stretch through the back calf. Keeping that heel pressing down. We'll leave the legs straight for the first few breaths. And then as an option, up to you, if you'd like, you can try adding a gentle bend to that back knee, shifting a little bit more down into our soleus or in and around the ankle as well, just depending on your ankle mobility. You might notice this one more or less or not at all. Everyone's a bit different with how they feel each stretch. And we'll switch sides, same thing other side. So go ahead and find your lunge stance first. Once we are there, check in with the toes. Make sure they're pointing at the wall. And that your stance is long enough so your front knee is right over top of the ankle. How's that breath coming along? If it picked back up or it's getting a bit short, see if you can smooth it out once more. And then staying as you are with the back leg straight or adding a gentle bend to the back knee. Not putting all of our weight back there, but just a little bit of a bend. Excellent stuff. All right, come on up to stand. You can use the wall if you need for a little bit of balance or hang out, challenge that balance in a bit of free space. Draw that heel up towards the glutes. Drop the knee down straight in line with the hip. Keep the chest up nice and tall. And if your balance is a little bit on the wobbly side today, similar to when we were doing our jump squats, find that focus spot in front of you just to keep your gaze in one area. That'll help out a little bit. Dialing in with that balance. If you need more, think about pressing your foot into your hand slightly. A couple breaths. And we'll release that down, switching sides, same thing, other leg. Heel comes up towards the glutes, knee drops in line with the hip. Find your balance, find your focus spot if you need it. And then again, if you need that little bit more, you can gently kick into your left hand. Nice, hold that for another breath or so. And we'll find our way down to our mats. Go ahead and find a bit of a straddle. I'll leave it up to you. Either your hurdler stretch or a straddle, do what you prefer. Toes and knees pointing towards the ceiling on whatever leg we are stretching here. Go ahead and reach it down towards one leg to wherever you can reach. Knee, shin, ankle, foot. Hang out there for a moment or so, getting in through the back of the hamstring. And if your calf is really tight, maybe you'll feel it here as well. If you need a little bit more intensity for this one, you may or you may not, adjust as you need. Flex the toes back towards your face. That'll fire things up a little bit more. Excellent work. Okay, we'll take that over to the second side. Same thing here, reaching down that opposite leg, wherever you happen to be able to reach today. If you absolutely need a little bit of bend to the knee like I do here, that's totally fine. No need to absolutely force it straight. We are cooling things down, so again, no max effort here. We're not going into maximal stretches, but enough to feel some stretch sensation. Easiest way to look at that is you should still be able to breathe while we're holding these stretches. If you can't, dial her back just a little bit. You may have heard me say that before, but it's an easy rule to go by. Awesome. Can pop it up to a lunge stance. Done enough of those today. I should know what it's called by now. Bring it up nice and tall. Think about tucking that tailbone under slightly, and then start to press the hips forward and down. If you need a little bit more of a stretch through the front of your hip, same arm as your back leg is going to reach up and over. Find some extension here. Couple of good breaths. And then same thing on our second side. You can go ahead and switch that up. Other foot comes forward. Find that lunge stance. Tuck the tailbone under. Start to press the hips forward and down. Might be a very small movement, very small press. And then again, same arm as your back leg is coming up for a little bit more extension, if you please. If not, keep the arms down. If you can already feel that stretch in the front of the hip, you might be good where you're at. Great stuff, great stuff. Go ahead and relax that down. Come on back onto your mat or onto the floor here. We'll pop it on to, what do I want to do next here? I have it all written down because there were a couple that I really wanted to get in. So, sorry, let's come back to seated for a sec first. Bring an arm behind the head. We're going to press on that elbow gently, just to stretch in through the shoulder, into the tricep. Talking gets real tough after so much of it. Keep that posture up nice and tall here. Don't let that arm start to push the head forward or around the back at all. And we will go ahead and switch sides. Same thing, just reaching behind the head, gentle press on the elbow, just enough to get that stretch in through the tricep. Just got a last couple here for you, so go ahead and release that. Come onto your back. Single knee to chest. I'm going to draw that in towards you. Just give it a little bit of a squeeze. Find some compression in through the front of that hip. A little bit of a reset for the hips here as well. We'll just go a few breaths on each side. Nothing crazy. Switching sides whenever you are ready. Cool, cool, cool. I always like to toss these last couple ones in here. So releasing that, we'll flip onto our stomach. Hands under the shoulders. Press it up into your cobra as high as your back is okay with. Maybe it's just a bit of a lift. Maybe you're resting on the forearms. Do what you need to do. And then bring it down. Send the hips back. Take a quick child's pose. And we're just going to add a little bit of a lateral flexion stretch to this one. So what I mean by that, hands go over to one side. We're going to anchor one under the other. Send the hips back and away so you can really stretch through the side. Find as much of a pull as you want here, just by way you're angling your body where you're sending the hips. Find a few breaths on this side, and then we'll do the same thing over the other way. Switching sides if you haven't already. While we're finishing this up, I do want to say a huge thank you again for joining, participating, coming out to watch, comment, enjoy, sweat, all that good stuff. It's been a pleasure, as always. If you are up for more, tomorrow, 1400 hours, force prep with Audie. Or if you want to join me again, I think I'm on next Friday at 1600 hours for another high intensity class. I'm jazzed about it. I hope you are too. Big thanks to Kristen for all your work behind the scenes today, and we will see you again soon. Nice work.